What's going on, guys? Tony here, coming at you with another little discussion type video. And honestly, you guys have probably seen this many other places, but it gets asked to me very frequently, so I figured I would just kind of give my thoughts on it and everything that's going on in here. And it's basically just an image that we don't know if it's the real actual image, but it, obviously, why would someone take the time to kind of recreate that? It looks pretty real to me when looking at it, but it's basically a year 3 pass for For Honor, which is the year of the Harbinger. And basically what we see on there is 4 different weapons, which would institute that there's probably going to be more characters added. How many characters, we don't know. Maybe those are just like the 4 initially that are going to be added, but when this actually happens, so someone also, we've kind of deciphered, I guess, what weapons would belong to which faction. So the very left, which is the sword and the shield, would belong to the knights. The straight, like, double-edged sword, the second one from the left, would be the Wulin. The large hammer, the Warhammer, would be a Vikings, and then the one on the right, that like axe-looking thing, would be the Samurai. So this obviously institutes that we would be getting more characters in the game. It's been a while since we've actually had characters added for the original factions. If I do recall correctly, Aramusha and Shaman were the most recent characters added to those factions, which was quite some time ago. So the first one we had Sent and Shinobi, and then we had Highlander and Glad, and then we had Aramusha Shaman, and we haven't really gotten anything since that. So that was season 4, and we're going to be approaching season 9. So it's been like over a year since the Knights, Vikings, and Samurais have gotten some new characters. So with this also brings the fact, like, if they're going to try to make the Wulin characters like up to snuff with all of the other factions, are we going to be getting like a bunch more Wulins? Because there's already 6 characters in each faction already, but there's only 4 in the Wulin. So are we going to potentially be getting more from that faction to kind of round out the numbers? I'm not exactly sure, but looking at it, I can say one thing first. I'm not really going to give like so much judgment on this until it's actually out, or if this is like confirmed, the actual like thing or whatnot. I don't know, maybe it is confirmed somewhere and I'm just out of the loop, but I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Looking at the weapons just as themselves, they look freaking sick, right? I think a sword and shield knight would be really cool, although I do know, believe me, I know that a lot of people in the Knights wanted the Warhammer, and maybe it still could be, this image could be wrong. Maybe the Vikings getting that sword. It's probably not, but maybe. And, but I still think a sword and shield character is pretty cool, because the only Viking with a shield is Conqueror, and Conqueror is not everybody's cup of tea. Well, I mean, I guess technically Glad has a shield. I guess he does, so never mind, but not like a sword and a shield, which that looks like a pretty girthy sword, not gonna lie. And it's quite a large shield that you could crouch behind that or something. The weapons for the Wulin have been kind of over the top, I'd say. Not like over the top, but they've been really interesting. Like, we've had the staff, we have the Dao, we have whatever the hell JJ's thing is called, and then we have the hook swords from Nusha. So seeing just a cool little straight sword is pretty nice to see. And obviously, moving to the Viking, seeing a Warhammer, that's probably the most requested weapon I think that we've ever seen in this entire game, is that actual weapon itself. But also that large axe that potentially would be going towards the samurai is looking pretty enticing. I think a pretty big boy would have to be wielding that, so that would be cool to see another heavy come through. I mean, if I had to look at all these characters, it would be cool if they were all heavies, honestly, because they're, I mean, besides that sword, I feel like it might not be a heavy, but it could be something, but I think the year of like just adding a bunch of heavies, because all they've been basically adding has been hybrids and assassins really the first couple of years, and knowing for year 3 and everything, if we were adding some more characters like that would be really cool. But then it brings up the discussion, what's going on with the reworks, right? So the year 3 basically would be February 4th. I think it came out February 14th in 2017. And this would be 2019. This would be the start of their year 3. When I think about that currently, I don't know if this would be out entirely, because I think our last little thing of season 8 has maybe like a week or so left on it. I'm not exactly sure, but then there's a little downtime in between seasons, right? Which of like another week or 2, and then they would have to be, I don't know if season 9 would be considered the year 3, probably not, because it's before then. And those are about 10 weeks anyways, so that would definitely overlap that February mark. and maybe they're not starting the year 3 until season 10. But with, season 9, obviously we have the discussions of Shigoki rework, potentially, hopefully we have something else as well to show, like some other character adjustments for people all around the board. But my one like fear with this is that, although new characters are cool, it's not necessarily going to bring new people to the game. I feel like there's two different types of things like that when people see this and that they go for, right? So I see there's probably one person who, really likes playing the game. They play it. They don't really care too much about, all the balances and stuff. Maybe, even if their character maybe isn't like the strongest, maybe they just like stuff that looks cool and they're like, oh man, I'm excited for this. But then there's the other person who sees this and they're just like, well, why are they spending their time instituting more characters when we could just be, bringing the old characters up to par with the rest of them, because everyone's going to have outdated movesets, and it's very likely when these characters get added that they're going to have pretty poggers movesets, like with the Wulin were added in. They're, and I think that's kind of how the game should be. Everyone should be kind of on that level to where you can kind of perform with anybody, but some of the characters' movesets are just lacking behind of the old cast. So seeing this makes me really hope that while adding these new characters into the game, that they still don't forget about the old cast, because I'm assuming the team that does new character development and stuff will do like reworks and stuff to the old characters and all those changes. I would assume. I'm not 100% sure if that's correct, but that's just my thought process behind it. So seeing that, hopefully we still get those reworks coming through. If these ones get added in, this would bring our character list up to 26, I believe, and this isn't announcing, the rest of the content in year 3. I don't know if there's anything specifically that's going to be changing else with the game. I'm curious if you guys think that there should be, what else should be added into year 3 for For Honor. Obviously, we still need these balancing things, but is there anything else that you would like to see them add? Maybe because, this year was all about that Marching Fire DLC, adding, Breach, and then adding the Wulin. But just adding different characters, I don't know if it's just we're going back to kind of how like year 1 was, where each season like 2 new characters come out and then we can just kind of go like that. And hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully we still get updates to other characters and bring other patches into where we can modify damage values and speeds of attacks and everything to kind of help the overall balance of the game. This is definitely cool, and when seeing this poster, I think it's great, but honestly, it's kind of hard, and I don't think, and I think actually at this point, For Honor is really done bringing in new players, because one, it's got such a steep learning curve. It's really difficult to kind of get up there, and once you get to the even higher tiers of playing, you still kind of are, it's still quite difficult, honestly, dealing with all the stuff. There's some BS that happens in the game, and then everybody's really, really good and plays, pretty sweaty, and it can be kind of unenjoyable. I understand that. So bringing new people into this game after it's going to be going on to its 3rd year is going to be kind of hard. I understand they want to do whatever they can to, sell copies of the game, get people to buy it and all that stuff, buy DLCs and everything. So I understand why these things are being interested in here, but this is really going to be, I think, for the the hardcore fans, the people that have stuck around this entire time, and knowing that people obviously don't like Lawbringer, Raiders, crappy things of that. Seeing these, I don't know if that, I'm not, when I was a Kensei main, I felt that he was awful, and then he got his rework, and I felt fine now. And now I play Shigoki, and knowing Shigoki's going to get a rework, I'm like, okay. So I don't really play that much Raider or Scent or Lawbringer or Warlord to an extent, and I'm assuming people who main these characters and they see this, they might get a little bit of a sour taste in their mouth, or maybe they're just like, what, screw it, I'm gonna give up on this character, which I don't think you should ever do. I don't think there should be a game in which just one character is just absolutely the worst in the game. You should be able to outperform your opponents with your skill in the game. But looking at this, I think that the weapons are really, really cool. I'm interested to see the type of characters that we're going to be having, and to see if they're going to be adding any more additional content into the game. But then it kind of comes with a little bit of a scary thing, and I'm thinking to myself, obviously people have said that For Honor was a dead game, right, since season freaking 1, right, ever since like a week or so after it, with all the DCs and everything with that. Obviously it's not a dead game. There's still quite a large majority of people people who enjoy watching the game and like seeing content on it and think it's a cool game to watch. But at the end of the day, if not enough people are buying and playing the game, they'll stop making content altogether for it. And this is kind of the scary part of it, because I feel like this might be the last year that For Honor will continuously update its content. Now, would that mean maybe a For Honor 2 comes after it? Potentially. I don't exactly see the future, but you know, if that was it, and then we maybe, if we would continue to see some updates with there, but maybe no new content in there, and everyone's just kind of brought up to the same speed, that would be kind of, I'd be okay with that. But I think For Honor is like on its last leg. It has to get this year 3 right, and then the game state needs to still improve drastically from what it's on, and then maybe people will start to continue to play it. Maybe we'll have this, maybe a smaller player base of you know, more dedicated players, but people will still continue to play it because it doesn't infuriate them that much. But you know, it's really hard to say, and like I said, we don't even know if this leak picture is right, so everything I'm saying is just basically speculation. I'm sure we're probably going to get more information on the Warriors Den, but I just kind of wanted to make this video because I get asked about it very, very frequently, continuously, in any stream I do or any video. I've gotten comments like, what do you think about the leak? What do you think about the leak? So I figured I'd just share everything. Make sure you check out other people's videos like Infinite and Gingy, because they probably explain it a little bit better than I do. I'm just kind of rambling off the top of my head right now. But if you guys enjoyed this video, you know, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. I thank all of you guys for the support on the videos of recent, and we are very, very close to that 50K mark, so thank you guys so much. It's been your boy Tony. I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.